Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Mary Gardner with Lap of Love. And on today's Facebook Live, we are going to be talking about another way that you can memorialize your pet or pets. And that's with using their ashes to create a diamond. And I have seen this a couple of times. And so when I researched a company that offers this, I found Eterneva. And that is who's with us today. And so we've got Katy, wait a minute. I've got my little intro slides I can show. There we go. So we've got Katy from that company. So welcome.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here. I'm very excited.
I know, this was cool. So you and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about this process, and it really started in the human space, right? Making ashes, diamonds from ashes from humans, and then. About how many years has the company been doing this for pet ashes?
Yeah, so it actually happened pretty quickly. So we started in Q4 2017. And I would say pretty soon after, once we got the ball rolling, we immediately saw that pet grief was just a huge place where, people weren't necessarily feeling a lot of support and wanting to do more things. And so, pretty soon after we started to see a good amount of pet parents come to us. And, that might be because we were on Keeping Up with the Kardashians or Shark Tank. I don't know what really caused it, but I think pretty quickly people were like, wow, this is definitely something I would do for my dog as well.
So actually you were on Shark Tank?
We were, yeah. We were on Shark Tank. Mark Cuban's an investor. Adele and Garrett absolutely crushed it. It's fun to watch them get kind of grilled by the sharks, but
it's my gosh, I have to watch that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite shows, that and The Prophet. So now I've got a couple of people watching. So hi, Rick from Portland. So Portland, Texas. He's always on watching these. So that's awesome. So everybody can put a shout out. And they can ask questions throughout this. So if you see me looking over there, it's because I'm reading questions, and so I'll pop them in. So can you just give us an idea of first? Let's talk the nitty gritty, the science of making the diamond versus the process of us sending in some information, stuff like that. So what's the science of making diamonds out of ashes or hair or anything?
Yeah. So the lab grown diamond space is a newer space, right? So I think it's interesting to kind of think of the history of diamonds. When you think of a diamond, you think maybe of like something that people go mining for and they get from the ground, and you're like, wow, this is a beautiful gem, and you polish it and all of that. And the way that happens is through carbon. So what naturally occurs under the Earth's crust is very, very high heat, high pressure with carbon. And so super smart people realized you can create this and recreate it in a laboratory, right? We can take everything that happens below the earth and we can actually do it in a lab. So the way it happens is humans are primarily made of carbon. So our hair is made out of carbon, our skin, when we have cremated remains, and pets, obviously cremated remains are still made from carbon. So is fur. And so you could take that carbon and actually take the cremated remains, distill that down to a form of carbon, and then you put it into these machines that mimic what happens under the Earth's surface. So very high pressure, very high heat, and you get these diamonds essentially that you have to crack open. It's pretty crazy. And then you put it in acid. You are able to kind of get the actual diamond out of there, and then you can color it. We obviously, all of our diamonds are graded by IGI, so it still has the same grading process that any other diamond would. So it's a pretty
cut, clarity, carat, all that good stuff for us ladies that know the big C's.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So you'll get a full grading report. It's graded by the same people, and it's absolutely a diamond in every way.
So this is a bit more environmentally friendly and human friendly. There's a lot of discussion about diamonds, right, and where they're being sourced from. So this is a nice way also to get diamonds ethically, right? So okay, so you said first so that you could also send in fur.
Yep.
Okay. Or like human hair too.
There's actually more carbon in fur and hair than there is in cremated remains. Not a ton, but it's if you just put in a little bit of hair, that's pretty strong carbon.
That is so cool. All right, so about how long does it take?
Yeah, it takes about 8 to 10 months. So there's like it's a pretty intricate process. So we've actually designed an entire grief wellness experience for a pet parent. So you have a customer experience rep that you're working with throughout the entire journey who's sending you updates. So you get to see the science as it's going along. And so you'll see the first video, you know, the carbon essentially coming out, then you'll see it go into the machine, then you'll see it actually go to cutting, then you'll get to see the coloration. So you get to watch every single step, but there's about 8 to 10 key steps and milestones, and they all take a few weeks to a month. So altogether, the full process is 8 to 10 months.
Now, what I learned is also based on the size of the diamond you want, that's the longer they're brewing, they're growing.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's not the quantity of ashes, but it's the time that they're brewing, let's say.
Yep. So a smaller diamond might only need 3 days in the diamond press, whereas a larger diamond needs to cook longer and grow, which makes it harder to grow because there's more opportunity for inclusions and things like that. But yeah, absolutely. So our bigger diamonds usually take like up to 2 weeks to grow in the machine.
Okay, so the growing in the machine is 2 weeks. Is it like getting the carbon that takes a while?
That takes a little bit longer. The cutting takes longer. We have this master cutter who's like the best cutter in the world. So he literally is working with like a wheel and having to cut, look it up, cut with this diamond wheel. And so that's definitely intricate. If it needs to be colored, that's a whole process. It needs to go to New York for grading. So we really kind of account for all the different steps.
That's okay. So that's why the whole process. We've got Naughty here, a pot-belly pig that she lost at 20 years old. So
oh my goodness,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, we've done horses before. We've done a lizard. So definitely, you know, I mean, everybody's pet is super important, and yeah, I mean, would love to learn more about her pet.
I know, look at that. Okay, so when I was looking around, and I've talked to you about this, Katy. So I found a couple of other places that may have done this, but there was something about your site and the videos that you guys have. Wait, I'm gonna show my site there again. There we go. And the videos about the process and just how you handle every, you know, step along the way is really important, and the experience that you provide, which is why I was really interested in your organization to find out more. And also we have somebody from Brazil, and also to find out about getting this done for myself, for my own pets. And so I've lost a number of pets, but I have ashes from 6 of my pets. And so we talked, and we could do multiple pets for 1 diamond, right? So we just send in ashes from multiple people or multiple pets. Yeah. Remains. Okay. So I filled out the little order form. So Rick wants to know, can you mix ashes from multiple specimens for dog versus hair from ashes and hair combined to make a single? So yes. So cremated remains and fur can come together. So
yes, exactly.
And different sources. So I've got my 6 pets, 3 dogs, 3 cats. So I got the box. So what is this box called that I'm going to show everybody?
It's the welcome kit. So it's the very first step to help you figure out, you know, do you want to do this, and help you make a decision about what kind of diamond, what color, what size, all that kind of stuff.
So this was one hot box. Let me tell you, this is like a very cool box. So this is my welcome kit, right? So, and it just goes to show you the quality. Let me put it in here. So what was the coolest thing ever was the little video inside. And I know that not everybody's going to be able to hear it, but when I open this, there's a little video on the top, which is customized to me, which is what blew my mind. So it wasn't just something, but it was a little message to me. And then it had another veterinarian who got a diamond made for her. It looked like a pit bull, and then also just the client experience manager. I forgot what her name was, but so I'm going to open it just so everybody can see. Now you're not going to be able to see or hear very well the message, but ta-da! Hold on, here it comes.
Hi, Mary. It's Tara with the Eterneva.
How cool is that? So then, wait, I always go backwards. So you can move the little video to the.
My very first dog.
Cool. I can't. I cry over these stories.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
that story's great. Yeah, and so I mean, for us, the most important thing, right, when you experience a loss, is you want to tell your story and you want to be able to talk about your pet. You want to tell people who they were, and so we learned super early on that being able to personalize it and make people feel heard and allow people to talk about their pet was so important. And so this kit is kind of our first glimpse of like, we hear you, we see you, we recognize you.
Yeah, this is awesome. So then we've got inside a little order form and then a booklet that talks about just so many things. And one of the options I'm interested in is getting a color. So I want to get to the little color chart here. Because you could have them, hold on, Mary, get ready for, I should be on point for this. Where's the colors? Oh, it's on the order form. I'm with you. Here it is. Okay. So we could have let me see if I can see that, all these different colors.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with yellow because yellow makes me happy. And I like that. So what's the coloring process like? I mean, you don't have to tell us any trade secrets, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so what's really cool, so blue, colorless, and yellow can actually happen during growth. So it just requires a tiny bit of either boron or nitrogen while you're actually with the diamond seed. So you can actually grow a blue, a colorless, or a yellow in the machine. You have your diamond seed, and then you put in a little bit of chemicals, and then you have the carbon. And so yeah, just a small amount of chemicals will turn the diamond either yellow or blue while we're in growth. And then all the other colors, so if you want to do a red, actually start with yellow because they're the easiest to do. And then we're able to take that to a coloration facility, and it's called iridation. So with, again, it's like a laser beam shooting off, little laser beams shoot off and color things. So yeah, then you can basically turn something into green. If you expose it to, the most amount of light, that's how you get black. So there is a full coloring process, but we can always grow a blue, a colorless, or a yellow in the machine.
Okay, the black was interesting. I thought that would be kind of cool to see. Now,
yeah, Johnny Cash, and I say he's the dog in black because Johnny Cash was the man in black. So when I do this, I'll definitely do a black diamond.
I'm going to want to see that. Okay, I love it. Then you could pick from 5 different cuts. So you could do the round, I like cushion and emerald and things like that. So like this is like real diamond stuff going on here.
Yeah. Which one do you think is the sparkliest out of all those cuts?
This is a great question for everybody out there. All right, so I'm not going to answer. So what diamond cut? We've got round, emerald, cushion, radiant, and Asher,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Never heard of that. Okay, so we'll have to do a little public guessing out there to see which one is the most sparkliest. Okay, so I've got a couple out there saying round. Thomas also likes the yellow. Kim's saying round. I'm gonna guess something different, but so all right, keep on guessing, everybody, because I know it's like a 30-second lag or something like that, so I don't want to say anything. Then we can also pick what size diamond we want. And in the kit that you guys had sent me is all these little bottles. So you send then cubic zirconia so that we could see what size we want. So now, of course, I'll just go to the biggest one. Only kidding. Let's go check out the tiniest one. So wait, put it in front of my camera. So there it is. And then I can see, well, that's too small. Let's go for bigger. So now let's just look at, I got emerald, by the way. I got a couple of emerald guesses. So I'm going to now just take out the cubic zirconia of what a carat looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about, I didn't know much about diamonds before Eterneva, right? So like a lot of people have no idea what size they want. They're like, I don't know, I want a necklace, but what's normal? And so we send people the diamonds so you could touch, feel, hold, imagine as a necklace, imagine it as a ring, be able to figure out what actually works for you.
Then, I just showed everybody I need a new manicure. So Nancy says the biggest one for sure. What's the biggest diamond you guys have made?
So we're about to start a 3 carat, which will be the biggest we've ever grown.
Here we go, Nancy, 3 carats.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So now, so the other thing we were talking about is, so let's say I decided to pick the round, and I'm waiting for more people. I've got a couple of emeralds and rounds. Then I'll say my guess. So let's say I did a round because I don't want a ring, but you guys can. You have a jeweler on. I'm just laughing at these comments. A jeweler on staff that could make a ring or a pendant or something like that out of this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So we'll work with you on the setting. So we had like somebody send us a picture, like they drew us a picture of the perfect ring that they wanted, and we were able to recreate that. So we can get pretty creative. We had somebody make a nose ring once because they're like, I want my pet with me all the time. I want to be able to like see it in the mirror. So yeah, we've had some interesting settings before. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Some earrings. Could you get two made? Like,
yeah.
It might cost a little bit more to get, because that's two perfect little things, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now somebody said, Lynn here says, a jeweler told her, and maybe we don't know this, but a jeweler told her that carat has nothing to do with the size, but it's more about the weight.
Yeah, I believe that is true. So we weigh all of our diamonds before, and we can promise within a certain range. So what we'll say is, like a 0.7 to 0.75, or, be able to kind of give it right in that range, but getting that perfect exact 1 carat is it's like nearly impossible to do.
Okay. All right. So if you guys get a little bigger on mine, that's okay. To your little cutter. Yeah. You can
okay. We typically like to surprise and delight, but I don't know if I should say that to everybody on Facebook.
Surprise and delight, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's say I'm going to go for a carat. So for all of those of you out there, I'm going to get a necklace made, a pendant made, or a necklace. And I would like it in like a daffodil, to make it look like a daffodil, because a daffodil has 6 petals, and I have 6 pets that will go into my diamond. So that's what I'm going to get. Okay, so now, and CM, I shared that link, and I'll share the link again at the end. It cuts off my face, so I don't want to. All right, so then what happens is I take this part out, and then she's talking to me again. So then underneath here, we've got more. So I've got a little canister, if you will, and then a scoop. So how many ash? This is the big question. That is, how much cremated remains do we need? And I'm going to do a Facebook Live soon about cremation and talk about, how much do we get back? And because some people are like shocked that sometimes it's not as much as they thought. They could have a very fat cat and we get back a smaller amount, because what does come back with cremation is really just bone fragments. So, and then that gets crushed down to what we call ashes. So this is technical, and I'll go into that in my other Facebook Live. So you guys, I read, need about 8 to 10 scoops.
Yep. So it's about a half a cup is really all we need, and that will grow. We can grow the biggest diamond with that. We can grow multiple diamonds with that as well. So it's really about, again, being able to get the right carbon content. And so a half a cup will get us plenty of what we need. And for hair, it's about 10 grams of hair. 10 grams of hair. Okay. I don't know what 10 grams is. I'm not so good, but I just. I know. Me too. I'm like a healthy handful. So just like, and my hair is so dead, I shouldn't show people that.
Okay. I can do mine, right? So, because I'll say that not all kitty cats or smaller pets may get this amount, 8 to 10 scoops back. So depending on their frame and their bone density, we may not get enough. So maybe sending fur would be also a good idea. And at Lap of Love, we always clip fur for families at the appointment. So just something, if you don't want it then, you might need it for something else, right? Yeah. So that's. Not everybody's attached to their pets, cremated remains or their ashes. But if you want a diamond, then this is a good reason to do that anyway. So that way you do have options. So now in my little jar, shall I open it?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay. So because I have to spend this weekend, I'm going to be packaging it this weekend, because I have 6 pets I have to put in here. So just so everybody knows, your ashes, when you get the urn, when you get an urn back from your crematory, inside the urn, 99% of the time, the cremated remains are crushed into ashes, and they are in a baggie. So they're always usually in either one that's tied. At my crematory, we just tie it so that way you can easily open it. Some are ziplocked, you know, or like what's it called? Air suctioned out, right? So you may have to open it, but don't be scared to open your urn. It's not like, you know, ashes are going to fall out. They're usually secured in a bag. So then I open up my little tin here. And inside, I've got another little bag and my gloves. So I will use my gloves and then do all my scooping because you don't want my little skin particles in here.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So we try to keep everything as clean and consistent as possible. We do sometimes have people who, you know, they might not have enough cremated remains or fur, and so they'll put their own hair in, so they can be with their pets forever as well. And so there are options of putting your hair if you want to be with them too. And then, yeah, and then you
might see some blonde hairs in mine. Thank you, Rick. Vacuum sealed. It's hard being on live. I forget these things. I turn like all my English goes to out the window.
And I mean, no, you're doing amazing. And I think the other thing that's so cool about working with veterinarians is what we found is, I mean, being able to actually separate out cremated remains can be really, really difficult for folks. So having, you know, the vet do it for you is just a huge value add. So I would say a ton of our pet parents will go back to their veterinarian and say, you know, I'm going to really struggle to separate this. Would you do it for me? And that's why we love to work with vets as well, because that really helps us.
That's a fantastic point. And even crematories will do that. So I know that I own my own crematory. So if anybody, you know, ever wanted this, we can, if we had the kit beforehand, that's great. Or come back in and bring the kit with your urn, and we'll do that. So I just noticed, this is how personal you guys are. So I just noticed that you've put a label on here, Mary Gardner, and that's all my little angels that will go in here. So I've got Sarissa, Neo, Duncan, Bodhi, Lilu, and Sam, my most recent angel. So, so look how personalized that is. And then I've got a little barcode underneath here. So I'm guessing that's to help track this through the whole process.
Yep, that number stays with you throughout the entire journey. So everything is barcode scanned. We know we can, you know, every single process is scanned, sealed, delivered, all of that, so we can track everything. Okay,
so I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to package it out. I'm going to actually throughout this process post videos and pictures so that way you all can see as I go through this. So I'm going to send this off, and then so it's going to go. Where's your facility?
In Austin.
In Austin, Texas. Okay, so I'm going to send it out there. And then what's like the next step?
Yeah, so the first step is the carbon purification. So we'll take your cremated remains, we'll put it in this graphite carbon crucible that it can withstand a ton of heat. And essentially what that does, then that goes into this machine that's like super, super high intensity heat. I forget exactly how hot it gets, but really, really hot. And that will allow everything to come out besides the carbon. So it'll remove any of the gases and oils and different things that are still left in the cremated remains. And then that just distills down to a very fine, it almost kind of looks like silvery and shiny, but it's like this shiny silvery powder that is the carbon itself.
That is so cool. So, and will I see, like, you guys will send a little video of like taking that out so I can see it?
Yeah, you'll be able to see every step. So we'll send you a video of it going into the crucible, so you know we've received your cremated remains, it's going in, and then we'll send you a video of what it actually looks like when it comes out of the crucible.
Okay, and then through every single step.
Yep.
And then you'll share that with everybody.
Yeah, and if anybody ever wants to come to Austin, you can actually put your carbon into the machine and press the button and see that you're actually growing the diamond. So we're creating a really interactive experience, and we have pet parents come all the time to our facility to actually start the process themselves.
I love this. Okay, I love this. Now, we asked everybody about the sparkliest. Yeah. So I'm going to guess the cushion.
Okay, want to hold up the thing again? With the.
Thank you. Wait, everybody, hold on. Let me do this again. Oh, and we're going to talk about pricing because I know somebody's asked about that. Am I in the right one? Hold on.
Order form.
I'm in the order form, right? Because I got. Man, this is like. Are we sure it's in the order form? No.
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay, so we've got round, emerald, cushion, radiant. I mean, radiant sounds like it would be, and then Asher. Okay, so I'm going, look how horrible my nails are. I need to get those out of the frame. Cushion, I'm going to go with cushion. So we've had a couple of emeralds and a lot of rounds. So, Katy.
Yeah. So round and cushion are the sparkliest. And the reason is there's the most amount of cuts in them, right? So light is coming through the most amount of time. So that's creating the sparkliness that comes out of, when you see sparkly diamonds, it's based on the number of cuts in the diamond.
Oh, so may I say that emerald might be the least?
Yep. So that looks more like a stone, right? And emerald's very in right now, but it's more like just an actual stone versus and it still has light come through it, but you don't get that super sparkly light coming in every direction.
Okay. Yeah, I personally like cushion for rings and stuff, cushion for rings, but I'm going to do the round because I want it to look like a flower. So now we've had a couple of questions about pricing.
Yep.
And it does depend on the size and the color. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, so pricing starts at $29.99 and goes up from there. And yeah, it's absolutely about the size and the color. So, a really small diamond only needs to be in the machine. It's easier to grow. It's, you're less likely as you get bigger, you're more likely to get inclusion. So the chemistry and the science is harder. And then the color, if it does need to go to a coloration facility, then that's an additional step. So, we essentially account for that. So the largest and black would be the most expensive. And then, anything we could do in the machine and the smaller ones are on the lower end.
Okay, right. So a, quarter carat is around $3,500. I'm looking at the full price chart. So, and that all comes in here. So that way you can play with the little gems and then see which one you want, because the big rock on the finger I want for engagement. So for my for my necklace, I may not need as much. So there's a lot of options for families. Now I've got one question that was very interesting. Actually, Thomas, let's see what he says. Thomas, I am fine with having my Smucker's ashes in a nice urn, but this takes it to a new level. I feel like it's such a beautiful way to keep them close to my heart and to show friends the unique way. I agree, Thomas. And for me, I'm still going to have a lot left in my urns. So I can have both, which is nice. So this is a great question from Naughty Toys for Good Dogs. Is it legal to send remains over the border? So I'm assuming state borders, but we might be thinking Mexico or something, or Canada or something like that. So tell us about that. I think it's yes.
Yeah. So there's a whole process for how to send cremated remains in the mail that we completely follow. It used to just be with the post office, and then there was all the crazy stuff going on with the post office this year. And Adele, who's just the most badass CEO, she was like, we have to be able to send cremated remains legally. We need to figure this out, and we cannot have delays, and our parents need to be able to get everything. So she actually reached out to the CEO of FedEx, and they have now created a process for sending cremated remains in the mail because of us as well. Now we work with FedEx, which is great. And then every country is different. So we have to abide by the country specific policies. But yeah, we've had people in the Netherlands and Norway and all over the place. So we just have to make sure that we abide by their country policies.
Okay, perfect. So and she's in California, so no problems there, pretty easy. And you guys sent me a box now to put, so I'm going to put everything back in this box, and then I'm going to put it in my shipping box, which is prepaid, and I send it off and watch the process. So this is so interesting. If anybody has any questions, feel free to add them in the comments. Is there anything, Katy, that I have missed? I'm going to show the link again. Anything that I have missed?
No, I think the biggest thing for us is really helping people have a conversation about their pets. So I think when you have a necklace, when you have a ring, and someone's like, "That's so beautiful. Where'd you get it?" It's a conversation starter, right? It really allows you to actually say, this was my pet, and this was their story, and this is how I'm celebrating their legacy, and be able to talk about it. So the biggest thing for us is helping people have those conversations and helping people feel like it's okay to grieve your pet. I'm with my dog every single day, and especially with COVID, that's my child. And we want to just really be able to help people have that conversation.
Oh, this is so nice. Patricia asks, "Hey, Patricia, I know you. Can we mix pet and human ashes?" So, yep. I'm getting that answer right now, right? I can almost answer these questions.
Because everything, again, during that carbon process will distill down to one source of carbon.
Okay, right. So it's this is so interesting. All right, and so anybody out there who's got any other questions, this is just such a magnificent, beautiful way to honor the pet. There's so many ways that we can, and I have been asked by dozens of families about diamonds over the years of helping families with end of life care. So this is has been super helpful. Like I said, I want to show everybody the website one more time, but I love the website because it has great videos on there that can explain the process even more. And then they could reach out to somebody to get the welcome kit and to see what size they want and things like that.
Yeah, our TikTok too has some amazing stories about some of our pet parents and just how incredible they are. So if you want to go down an emotional rabbit hole, our TikTok is definitely a good place to do that.
All right, so we got the TikTok to go check out as well. I know I got a little teary-eyed, so I'm not gonna lie. And I love the one story, the veterinarian who's her pit bull, she loved a blue ball, and so then she had her diamond was colored with blue, so that way it reminded her of a toy that he or she always had. So listen, Katy, thank you so much for coming on and explaining this process. It's been super, super helpful. I'm going to show everybody the link again. So it's eterneva.com/pets, but you also have the human division as well. So if somebody could do this, if you've lost a loved one and human and would like to do this, or as Patricia said, have a mix, and that's just as good. All right. Well, thank you so much again, everybody out there. Thanks for joining. And certainly, if you do this, post it on our Facebook page. I'd love to see it, and I will post my 6 pet diamonds along the way, and certainly be excited to get that in 8 to 10 months, depending on the size I get. And so thank you again, and everybody out there, just love up on your gray muzzles. Until next time, and I will definitely do a Facebook Live on cremations. That way people know more about that too. So, all right. Thank you, Katy. Take care.
I appreciate it. Good to talk to you guys. Talk to you later.